Hi, welcome to our channel. And this is in continuation to our last session where we talked about how we can install the GitLab on our system using the Vagrant. And we basically automated the GitLab installation to using the Vagrant. So we defined everything inside the Vagrant file using a shell, and when we run the vagrant command, it has automatically created and installed the GitLab for us. So if you haven't watched our previous video, I would request you to first go through that video because this is in continuation to our previous video. Uh, And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I would request you to subscribe to on clicking the bell icon to subscribe to our channel so that you get all our videos in your inbox as soon as we release that. So continuing now, this is the GitLab community edition, and we have basically visited this endpoint which is redirecting us to change the password because this is the very first time that we have logged in uh, on this new installation of GitLab. So go ahead and change your password and click on change password. Alright, so this time now it's asking for sign in. It says the password has been successfully changed. Now mind that if it's not loading, you might need to refresh your browser once if it's taking too much time, otherwise it might be giving you 422 error in that sense. And use a strong password for logging to the GitLab. And now you can provide the username as root and provide the password for sign in. I'm just going to click on save. It's going to sign in now. So it's taking a while. All right, so there we go. We have successfully logged inside the GitLab. This is the GitLab dashboard, and this allows us to create the project, create a group, add people, and configure GitLab. Right now we are logged in from our root. That's why it's showing us the administrator page. You can check your details of the user over here. Now the root user is very specific uh, for the administration purpose, so it's not a good practice to uh, uh, use the root user for performing the GitLab configuration. Instead, what we are going to do is we are going to sign out and create a new user. Now, there are multiple ways of creating a user. You can add your team members using the add people, but I would like to show you that how your new users are going to register. You can just sign out from the root user and it shows you the register page. Just go ahead and provide your full name over here. So I have provided my name, then you can provide your username. I can say Ankit.Mittal. Now it's asking for the email address. I can provide my email address over here, and it's asking for the email confirmation. Just fill in this form and it's going to create a user for you within the GitLab. Okay, so I have filled in all the information. Go ahead and click on register, and then this time you will see that the options have changed for you because you have logged in from a non-privileged user. Okay, we can again click over here and see it's this time it's not showing us the administrator, which was previously the case. That's why it was giving us the additional permissions and some activities which only the administrative account is having access to. And now we can click on settings. So whenever we are working with any of the GitLab related projects, we need our keys, our SSH keys for pushing or downloading the code from the repositories that we are going to create. So we can click on SSH keys, and here it's asking us for the key. For now, we need to provide our key, so we are going to go back to our GitLab, and right now we are inside the GitLab-CE. But we are going to work on this from our local, so I'm just going to exit it from here and go on my local machine. Now I'm on my local machine, so I'm just going to now if you are not having the uh, SSH keys generated, you can use SSH-keygen-trsa and just click on enter. Okay, and it says that it's going to override, which is fine for me. So let's just, and it creates the key now, and I can just say go to the home directory inside that .ssh and id underscore rsa .pub. So this is the key file that this is the public key that we need to put in the GitLab, so that we can automatically create and download the code or the repository. Basically, we can clone the repository into our machine. So go ahead and copy this, and you can directly paste the value over here. It automatically detects the title. This is basically representing the host name. So it's my personal laptop, so it appears fine to me. And you don't need to provide the expires value if you want. If you are working in an organization which is under the compliance and requires the user to change their keys often according to their policy, which can be up to like 3 months. Depending upon that, you can put the expires value as well. And click on add key. Alright, so it adds the key now, and it shows you the various details which can come in handy as to auditing if you are using the multiple servers for accessing your GitLab CE. And so that's all for this session. In the next session, we are going to see how we can create the public and the private repositories in the GitLab, how we can download the code from it and push the code in the GitLab itself. Thanks for watching this video. Do let us know in the comments, and if you like or if you have suggestions for improving the videos further. And see you all later. Thank you.